Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country right here on MKOCRadio.com. Always a pleasure to have a return guest on our show, especially a gentleman who is touring all over the country, keeping real country music alive. And he's winning all the awards, and he's got a great album called Mending Fences out right now with a song on the charts. And it's a pleasure to have him back on the show tonight. This is Richard Lynch. Richard, how are you tonight?
Well, hey, Scott, I'm doing good, and thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you and have some response from your great listeners out there.
Well, they sure love your songs, and so do we, and it's always a pleasure to have you back on the show. Glad you took the time.
Thank you.
And speaking of time, boy, you are a busy guy. You've got a whole bunch of shows lined up in Texas and Ohio and all over, and a country music cruise coming up. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've been down in Texas for about a week now. Been playing the South Texas tour here. A lot of folks down here in the valley getting out of the cold weather, and so they invite us down to play every year. And it's been a lot of fun. We're looking forward to February 5th to roll around, because that's when we get to go to Galveston and get on a country music cruise ship. And I think there's 6 other Texas artists that's going to be on that country music ship that for a whole week. And to be able to get on a ship and perform country music, that's pretty special in my world. So
Yeah,
I'm excited as can be about that.
No doubt. You get to see some beautiful places, too, along the way, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're going down through Cancun, Mexico, and Cozumel, Mexico, and Yucatan. So the sun and the warm weather is always nice. But the best part about it is a lot of folks, they love the good weather, they love the sunshine, but they love that real country music. And I want to make sure I can continue as long as I'm healthy, and as long as I'm able to keep bringing real traditional country music wherever we go. And it's amazing how many people really, really, truly enjoy that in there. They're missing it in today's so-called country music. And so I want to keep doing what I do.
Amen to that, and we're sure glad you do. And we've got a lot of listeners that support that, without a doubt. We're getting more all the time, and real country music ain't going anywhere, folks.
That's exactly right.
Especially with an artist like Richard Lynch. Richard Lynch Band. Oh, absolutely. RichardLynchBand.com is the website, and check out that cruise. It's the Vision of the Sea cruise, the 5th through the 10th. And, of course, you can get all of Richard's tour dates there and where he's going to be, and pick up his latest album, Mending Fences, and his last album, A Better Place, which is one of my favorites. I absolutely love that one. And gosh, Richard, you've won some fantastic awards in this last year. The Josie Award, Entertainer of the Year. You won an award for Cut and Paste. You won an award with Rhonda Vincent's Independent Country Music Hall of Fame. I mean, they're just rolling in for you. That's great.
Thank you. You just mentioned Rhonda Vincent. We have a song now that's being released to radio. It's charting on several charts in and around the country. And Rhonda, I've always loved her music. And, we ran across this duet, and my wife suggested to me a couple of years ago, we really ought to do a duet together on one of these albums that we're on. And we found the song. A gentleman named Nick Nichols wrote the song, and we said, this is an incredible song. We'd love to find the right person that fits our voices matched together. And my wife Donna reached out to Rhonda and see if she'd be interested in recording the song with me, and she agreed to. And when we got in the studio, it was like all the stars lined up. It was so amazing to be in the studio to work with somebody as talented as her, and our voices blended really, really well. I'm really excited how that turned out. And we understand that Rhonda just won a Grammy Award last night. So if you rub elbows with people like that, we're pretty fortunate, I guess you might say.
That's right. Yeah, you guys do sound great. The song is called "Back in Love Again," and of course we're playing it on our station, and it is a great song. And Rhonda Vincent is fantastic. She's been on the show before, and she's such a diverse singer, because she can do the real stone cold bluegrass stuff and then turn right around and hit you with a honky tonk song and just knock you out of your seat. She's got an amazing dynamic range.
That's exactly right. And a few years ago we did a single with Ronnie McDowell, those song called Love Tattoo, and that helped all our troops. And it's really gratifying for me at this stage of my career to be able to perform and record with people that I've always loved and idolized, and it's a gratifying feeling that I get to do what I love to do, and kind of call these folks my peers. I've been doing this music for a long time, and it's great to see some success come, and success comes in different variations, but for me to be able to do what I love to do, make a little bit of money, and we're not getting rich by no means, but to do what we love to do, and to share the music and get the folks out there that love the music and want to hear the music, it's a pretty good way to make a living, I guess you might say.
You know it, man. You know it. And I've always been told you should do something that you love, because you'll get old really fast if you don't,
Well, I agree 100%. I grew up in a country music household. My dad was an incredible singer, entertainer, and I come from the Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio area. We grew up there on an old farm, and every morning I'd get up at the old farmhouse, and my dad would have that old radio blasting in the kitchen, and I'd be listening to those great country songs, and he was a performer as well, and he played music all over the area, the tri-state area, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And as a kid, I knew that my dad was pretty special, and I loved the fact that he played that great music, and I was awful proud of him that I could call him my dad. And his influence then is still there today, and the real country music is what I'm all about. He loved it, and his love of it was bestowed in me.
Well, that's you and I are very similar in that aspect. Both my parents were musicians too. My dad played in a band for years, and it was always around when I was growing up. And it's been a lifelong thing, and it's something. It's a constant in your life that'll never go away.
Oh, absolutely. People say it's in your blood. Well, that's an understatement. If you love it, it's in your blood, and you want to do it. There's nothing more gratifying than to get a good country recording, and then to play and perform for a bunch of appreciative fans and folks that want to hear your music. That's success. If we never win a Grammy Award or never get on a major television show, that's okay, because the folks out there that love our music and come see our shows is all the gratification I really need, and get to shake their hands and hug their neck for a few minutes and get to know these folks. That's pretty amazing for me.
Absolutely, and it is for them too. And there's, country music fans are very loyal. Once you've got a fan, you've got a fan for life, through thick and thin.
Absolutely. We've seen folks that we entertained, 30 years ago, and they'll say, "Well, we kind of lost track with you." I mean, we got on Facebook and found you, and we drove 2 states or 3 states to come see you. That's amazing. And what you said it best. If they're a fan from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they're still there today, and that's pretty hard to find in other genres, I guess you might say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty cool as you travel around the country too. I'm sure you get to have familiar faces everywhere that you go, and it's kind of like seeing old friends again. When you get there.
Nothing any better.
Well, that's fantastic, man. I'm so glad to hear things are going well for you, and all these great awards that are so well deserved for you, and just shows that you're doing the right thing, and I applaud you for it.
Well, my wife is the gas in my engine, you might say. She's actually, she believed in me many years ago, and about 5 or 6 years ago, we recorded our first major album out of Nashville, and we've seen that there was some interest in what we were doing, and we started getting some calls around the country, and I told her, I said, okay, we're in, let's do this, but I told her, I said, if you don't go with me, I'm not going to go either, so this is a team effort here.
Well, that's a good thing. It's very important to have your support team around you and your family backing it, because I'll tell you what, it's you know as well as I do, it's a rough life out there, and it can get really crazy. You can go for a long time without seeing your family. So when you got your wife right with you, I think that's a fantastic thing. And tell Donna I said hi, by the way.
And you know what, Miss Donna, Scott said to tell you hello. So.
Oh, I get it now. That's why you said all that nice stuff about her. She's standing right there, isn't she?
Well, she was or not, there's the reality, right? She's the reason for the success, and you know, it just takes somebody who believes in you, and whether you're a farmer, which I am too, I'm a farmer as well, but you know, she believed in me in whatever I do, and it's great to see her labor and her efforts kind of pay off. We just got nominated for the AWA Award, the Western Academy of Western Artists Award for Album of the Year this year. I mean, it just keeps going on and on. I'm so thankful. It's just amazing to see all this interest come in a little country boy.
You know it, man. You know it. That's fabulous, without a doubt. Well, are you planning to do some more recording at all this year?
Absolutely. I'm always writing and coming up with ideas for songs, and you know, it's pretty amazing at this stage of my career. A lot of folks have been sending me songs that they recorded. I guess they think enough of me to send their material to me, and you know, their material is the songs that they felt, and they, you know, their emotions and their heartfelt real emotions are put into their songs, and if they think enough of me to send something that they wrote to me, you know, I'm really flattered immensely, and more folks are doing a lot of that, and you know, so we're in the process of putting together new tunes for our next album. We kind of anticipate this year, for sure the next year, to do the new album, but you know, just to get in the studio and record 12 songs, I'm not about that. It's got to have 12 songs that are outstanding and represent exactly what I feel and how I you know, I want to make sure that my music is portrayed in a traditional value, yet it's still got the great, you know, new sounds of, you know, the quality, I guess you could say, from the studio. But I want my music to be represented for traditional country music, and it's all about the song for me. Whether I write them or other artists in Nashville write them, I want to make sure I get 12 songs that represent everything I stand for about the traditional music.
Well, amen. And you've done it. You know, every album you've had out is stellar. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely, there are so many great songs that you have. You know, Cut and Paste is such an awesome song. And, you know, on your first album, I still love Daddy's Radio. That's one of my very favorite songs, and I play that song probably a lot more than I should. People might get tired of it, but I sure don't.
Well, that goes back to me and you growing up. You know, Dad was that music man that we listened to growing up, so it's not hard to recognize the fact that song touches us.
Absolutely, and that's you're right. And I'm sure that's why it really touches home with me, because I miss my dad. He's been gone almost 18 years, and it's a tough one, you know, when you start losing the ones you love that you grew up with, you know.
That's a fact. We're in the same boat in more ways than one, my friend.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yes, sir.
Well, tell me, how's the Keeping It Country Farm coming along there? You've been doing some really great shows there. I know you had T. Graham Brown there not too long ago, and I love him. Him and Sheila are just the best people.
They are. We have the farm. We're going to do 4 major events at our farm this year, and we just found out that we're going to bring to town our area of southwestern Ohio. We're going to bring the Kentucky Headhunters.
Oh, great!
Our farm, April 14th. I'm not bringing that to our farm. We're bringing it to our county. We're not going to have them at our farm because April 14th we have a hayfield we park them in. They might be pulling them out of that hayfield. We're going to bring them to our county April the 14th at our fairgrounds, and so we're doing our part to have things at the farm, but we're also bringing traditional country music to our entire area there in southwestern Ohio, and so once again we get to play with people that we admire and we've been inspired by, and it's just our little way of one, getting back to the community and yet still being able to keep that traditional music alive and well.
Oh, that's so fantastic. I'm so thankful that you do things like this, and that's it's just the best, to keep the music going and helping out your community and everything. Kentucky Headhunters are a riot. I just love those guys. They are so much fun.
they're a hoot, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to one of their concerts and don't enjoy yourself, then there's something wrong with you, because they're infectious. They just bring it out of you. They're so much fun.
I learned a while back ago, something that, we all kind of know in the back of our mind, but I come to realize that, I've never done something to help somebody to where it didn't help me 4, 5, 10-fold. And that goes for music, that goes for, if you see somebody on the street, if you see somebody anywhere, it's amazing how generosity has been so good to me. And my wife really she made that sink in for me here just recently, and it's about, when I say recently, the last 10 years or so, it shows, if you treat people right, people treat you right. And I don't deserve all this attention that I'm getting, but I'm thankful for it, I can tell you that.
Well, you do deserve it, my friend. I can't tell you how much I think of you and your music and just what you're doing to keep country music alive. It's very well deserved, and it just goes to show that everybody else feels the same way. So don't sell yourself short there, man. And it's
thank you.
The nicest thing in the whole music thing. I've been in the retail end of it. I've been in the band end of it. I've been now I'm a DJ. I've been in promotions. The best thing is all the nice people that you meet, and you make some lasting, lifelong friendships from it. And there's nothing better than that, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. For a prime example, we get to go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and play a couple times a year, and downstate Michigan as well. We probably play Michigan 3, 4, maybe even 5 times a year. And somebody asked me recently, where is the most fun place to play? Well, I enjoy music everywhere we play, and there's a couple places that really stand out. Texas loves real country music, but if I had to pick one place on earth, I would say the Michigan folks are by far the most receptive, appreciative country music fans in the whole country. And for a prime example, when we get to play up in the Upper Peninsula a couple times a year, I think the fact that they don't get a whole lot of folks come to see them, they will stand in line to hear good country music, and I'm so appreciative that I get to be around people like that.
Absolutely. Yep. There's a lot of good people up here, without a doubt, and I know you do that thing for the Love Tattoo Foundation every year to help the veterans out, and that's such a wonderful thing. And folks, you can read more about that on Richard's website, richardlynchband.com. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitter. Amazon, iTunes. You can get his music, see his tour dates, and stay in touch with everything he's got going on. I'm so glad you're staying busy and things are going well for you, brother.
That Love Tattoo Foundation is something that my wife and Randy Hayford, our management team out of Nashville, they said, hey, we got this song. Why don't we do something to make it beneficiary for people? And it just goes to show what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, we get to help people, and we raise some money to help these fine veterans that's done so much for all of us, and yet it's created so many opportunities for me. And that just goes to show you, if you help people, it comes back with you 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-fold. It's just, I'm convinced that's the thing to do in life.
Absolutely. You're right about that. Hey, I forgot to talk about your song, We're American Proud. Man, what a great, powerful song that is.
Thank you. That song came from an inspiration. I wrote that song early of last year, early part of 2017, because we were doing not a television show, but a radio network show, and he said, Richard, we need to get a jingle. Write this jingle, because we're going to make sure that we keep traditional country music alive and well. I said, well, where's this radio show going to be ultimately aired at? And who's going to be listening to it? And they started talking about truck drivers and farmers and our military men and women. I said, well, there's a song right there. We're leaving one person out. We want to make sure we thank the man above. So it was a song that I wrote, and it poured my heart out. I poured my heart out for the folks that really love the music, but I show appreciation for all the men and women that work so hard, especially our military men and women. American Proud, there's a lot of proud Americans out there, and I'm proud to say I'm one of them.
That's right. That's right. And we need more of that in this day and age. There's so much crazy stuff going on in the world, and sometimes you got to get back to square one and realize what you have and be thankful for it and be proud of it.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to show you, you said it earlier in the interview that, they're great Americans are out there, and if we can just keep doing what I do, or what other folks like me are doing, is keep that traditional music alive and well, they'll gravitate to you. Yep. And people want to be proud. They want to take pride in what they are, where they're from, and their country. And American Proud is just my way of let them see that there's folks out there that think like they do.
You bet. You bet. All over, no doubt about it. Well, Richard, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us again, and it's always a pleasure. You know that we're always going to play your music. You always have a home here, and we'll look forward to hearing your next album when that comes out. I'd love to have you on and do a feature on it, and anything I can do to help promote, I'm always here for you.
Well, Scott, to you and all your fine listeners out there, y'all be safe out there, and let's keep it country.
All right, man. Enjoy that cruise. RichardLynchBand.com is the website to go to. Pick up the Mending Fences album and also pick up his last album, A Better Place, as well. And you can check out all the other great stuff that Richard Lynch has going on. And we're going to play some of his music for you right now as we continue on My Kind of Country. Richard, thanks again.
See you, folks.